Hello all, I am Jairam. In a series of providing video sessions on logic-based programs in C programming language, as I have completed my concepts, different types of concepts I have discussed in C programming language. If all of you have that concepts, please subscribe my channel Jairam Tulapati and like my videos. So I have started providing logic-based programs. I have already discussed two types of logic-based programs in my channel. Please subscribe my channel and like my videos, and you can get those logic videos on my channel Jairam Tulapati. So in this video session 2, I am going to provide you all some logic-based programs which will help you all by developing a software or while attending for an interview. These logic-based programs will help you all a lot. That's why I am providing these logic-based programs. So let's start our session. Here, the first program. Here in this program, I am going to calculate the GCD of two numbers. Here in this program, I am going to calculate the GCD of the program. What is meant by GCD? Greatest common division. Greatest common division of two numbers. What is meant by GCD is that GCD means greatest common divisor of two or more integers. That means those integers are not all 0. That means those integers are not 0, and the largest positive integers between the two integers that divides the each of the integers. That is the meaning, that is the full form, that is the definition for the greatest common divisor of two numbers. Here in mathematics we all came across these types of problems. So here in C programming language, how we write the GCD code and how the compiler or the C compiler going to execute this GCD program, how the logic way and what is the logic way to write the GCD program in C programming language. Here let's see session. Let's see the program I have written, the GCD greatest common division of both integers. First of all, before going to this, let us understand the output I have written here. Here I have entered the two integers 5, 10, and I am calculating the G. As soon as I press the enter, I got result as 5. Why? Because here 5, 10, the factors for 5 are 1, 5, and the factors for 10 are 1, 2, 5, 10, and the common factor between 5 and 10 is the 5, and this 5 is only the largest among the factors for the 5 and 10 numbers. That's why my GCD for the 5 and 10 integers is 5 displayed on my output screen. So first of all, I am calculating the factors for the 5, and I have written next I am calculating the factors for 10. As soon as I calculate the factors, then I compare the factors between these two and pick the greatest one among these factors. That's why 5 is printed. 5 is printed on my output screen. That is the greatest common division between the 5 and 10. So let's understand the program. Here I have written program on GCD. Here I have included two standard header file, basic header files, and next here I have taken main method which is of void type. That means this main method hasn't written anything. And next here I have written clear screen for the clearing the output screen. Next here I have taken integers n1 and 2 and igcd in order to store the values n1 and 2 to compare the integers, and I to index for that, and gcd to store the value to print the value on the output screen. I have taken these variables of integer type. Next here I am just printing the statement enter 2 digits onto my output screen, and those 2 digits I am going to entering from keyboard. That's why here n1 ampersand n1 ampersand n2. That's why here I am inputting those integers to the output screen. And next here I am checking the condition. I have taken a for loop in order to check the values. For a equal to 1 this index value, and next here I less than or equal to n, and I less than or equal to n, I plus plus. That means here up to n factors, that is starting from the 1 and ending with the factor, ending with the first integer factor. I am looping I am calculating the for loop. That's why here I have taken I less than or equal to 1 as my first condition, and next here I base value is 1 and next value I have entered 10 as my second integer. That's why I am going to calculate the factors for the 10 for between 1 to 10. That's why here I have taken second condition as I less than or equal to n2, and next here I have incrementing the index value. Why? Because I have to calculate the factors for the particular integer. That's why I value must be incremented. That's why here I have written a condition I plus plus. Next here I have taken if condition. In this if condition I am checking the condition. That means n modulus I equal to 0. That means the index value. That means the first entered integer value multiplied, that means modulus with the index value. If the index value equal to 0 and same second integer value with this I value equal to 0 or not. If both conditions are true, then only assign the value to GCD. Why? Because these two has a common factor. Then this condition specifies this both has common factor or not. This both n1 and n2 has any common factor or not. If n1 n2 has a common factor, then assign that common factor to GCD. That's why here I have written GCD equal to y. Next here I am just printing that GCD value onto my output screen. Here you can clearly observe I have printing the same GCD value and the both integers n1 and n2 on my output screen. That's why here in the first printf statement it asked for enter the two integers. I have entered 5, 10, and as soon as I press enter, it displays GCD of 5, 10 is 5. Why? Because the factors for 5 are 1, 5 and the factors for 10 are 1, 2, 5, and the common factor between the 5 and 10 are 5, and 5 is the greatest among all the factors for 5, 10. That's why GCD value greatest common divisor for 5 and 10 is 5 displayed on my output screen. So this is the small program on GCD of two numbers. And next, how to find LCM of two numbers. Here LCM means lowest common multiple. How to find lowest common multiple? As you can see in mathematical applications, we use to find this. Come across the term LCM and we use it to calculate easily with the formula 10, 5, and we can divide it with 5. So here how to find the LCM of two numbers with the help of a C compiler, or how we can write the logic for the LCM in order to execute by the compiler. So here I have written a small program, and here too I have included two basic header files, stdio.h and conio.h. Next here I have taken main method which is of y type. That means this main method hasn't written any value. Next here I have taken n1 and 2 both integers, as I have to enter two types of integers onto my output screen. I have to take those types of integers from my keyboard. That's why I have entered n1 and n2. And next here I have taken another variable called min multiple. That means mini multiple. In order to store the result, in order to store the comparison result, or in order to store the result of this n1 and 2, I have taken this minimum multiple value by variable which is of type integer type. And next in printf state I have done a printf statement. That means I am taking the integers now. That's why here I am scanning the integers n1 and 2 because I am entering the integers on the keyboard. And next here maximum number, here I am finding the maximum number between n1 and n2. That's why here I have put a condition. Here I have taken a min multiple variable. Here I have taken a min multiple variable to store the greatest value among the greatest value between n1 and n2. That's why here I have taken min multiple value, and here I am checking the condition if n1 greater than n2. This is called ternary operator. This question mark and this colon specifies the ternary operator, and it check the condition n1 greater than n2. That means n1 variable is greater than n2, then simply prints n1 value. That means n1 is bigger than n2, otherwise n2 is big. This is simply specifies the this is simply specifies the biggest value. What is the biggest value between n1 and n2, and that biggest value is that maximum value is going to be stored into min multiple variable. Okay, next here I have taken a for loop, and here I am checking the condition. That means here I am checking the condition min multiple value is equal to 0. That means here the stored value in the min multiple is modulus with the n1 value, and this multiple value is modulus with n2. That means I am performing the modulus operation here. Here the greatest value is stored in the min multiple value, and I am modulusing that value with n1 and n2. Why? Because I have to find the lowest common multiple. That's why here lowest common multiple. That's why here I am modulusing both values in order to 0. If both has at least lowest common multiple, then simply print the message on the output screen. That's why here I have printing the n1 and n2 both integer values and min multiple value. That min multiple value stores the maximum value among between the n1 and n2, and that too I am printing on my output screen. And next I am printing the min multiple value. Why? Because it has to be incremented. It has to be incremented. Why? Because I want to find the minimum multiple value between n1 and n2. That's why here I am incrementing that value, and just simply quit the function. As soon as I compile execute the program, I got this output as enter two positive integers. It asked to provide two positive integers. Why? Because here I am taking the input. Here I have printed the statement enter two positive integers, and I have to enter the two integers from the keyboard. That's why here in the output it asked me to enter integers, and I have entered 10, 15 as my integers, and as soon as I press enter, it produces the result. The LCM of 10, 15 is 30. Why? Because here 10, 15 both are divisible by 5. 5 2s are 10, 5 3s are 15, and here 2 3 are 6, 2 3s are 6, and 6 5s are 30. That is the LCM value. That means we have to write the multiples. We have to write the multiples for 10, and we have to write the multiples for 15, and then we have to take the we have to write the multiples. We have to write the factors for the 10 first, and next we have to write the factors for 15, and among the factors we have to take the least multiples, least factors. And what are the least factors for the 10? What are the least common factors between 10 and 15? Then you should take only those least common multiples, then simply print those least common multiples onto my output screen. That's why here the least common multiples between 10 and 15 are described as 30. That's why 1030 value is printed on my output screen. So this is a simple program or a small program on least common multiple value. And next program is how to display English alphabets in uppercase and lowercase. How to display English alphabets in uppercase and lowercase. Is it possible to display those values in uppercase and lowercase? Yes, it is possible. Here you have to take a little bit of logic. We have to consider the logic. Based on logic, we are able to display those uppercase and lowercase values into output screen easily. Here too I have written to standard header file. Next here I have taken main method, which is of type void type, and next here I have taken name character variable, and C variable, which is of type character type, and next here I am just entering the variables, and it asked me to enter display alphabets in uppercase. I am going to display the alphabets in uppercase, and next here I have to display the alphabets in lowercase. And just for understanding purpose, I have written these two printf statements, and next here I am entering the any character from the keyboard. That's why here I am scanning that keyboard, and this line specifies the I am going to enter a character value to my output screen. Enter a character value from keyboard, and here I have written a condition called if c equal to u. That means if the entered character value either is capital U or small u, then simply go to this loop, and here I have assigned the character value as capital A less than or equal to Z. That means you have to print. That means if the person had entered the value character value capital U or small u, then simply prints the letters. Then simply prints the English alphabetic letters, uppercase letters, capital A to capital Z. That's why here C equal to a character value assigned to it, and next here and up to Z. That's why here I have taken condition as C less than or equal to Z. Up to C less than or equal to Z, the values must be printed, and next I am incrementing that character value. Why? Because I have to print the uppercase letters between A to Z, capital A to capital Z. That's why here I have to increment in the character value, and next here I am just printing that character value onto my screen. This about this if loop. Suppose if the user has not entered capital U, small u, suppose if they entered lowercase letters, that means if the user has entered the lowercase letters, that means if the user has entered capital L or small l, then simply go to this loop and simply print our English alphabets between small a to small z. That means if the has entered the small l, capital L or small l, then simply prints the lowercase English alphabets between A and Z. That's why here I have taken A value, and next here C less than or equal to Z. I have to print the English alphabets up to less Z. That's why here I have taken condition like this, and next C value must be incremented. Why? Because I have to print the values between A to Z, and next here printf statement. I have written a printf statement here, and I am just printing those small lowercase English alphabets onto my output screen. If the user has not entered either capital U or small u, capital L or small l, if the user hasn't entered these, then simply put a message on output screen as error, you have entered invalid character. Just simply puts this message on my output screen. Just simply puts my output screen. Just simply puts this error message on my output screen. Error, you have entered invalid character. So this is the small program on. This is a small program. How can we here whether the user entered a uppercase letter capital U or small u, or whether the user entered lowercase l or small l. If the user entered these four, then simply prints uppercase English alphabet letters or lowercase English alphabet letters. If the user has not entered any of these, then simply print a message on output screen as you entered invalid character. This to be printed on my output screen. So as soon as I execute the program, I got this output. Here, this is the output. In the first output, it was asked me to enter an alphabet. Here I have to enter the alphabet U. Here you can see. Here I have entered U as my alphabet. That's why English alphabetical series capital A to capital Z are printed on my output screen. Why? Because here I have entered U. That's why here alphabets are displayed in uppercase letters. And next in second output, you can observe here I have entered a lowercase l value. Thus English alphabets letters are printed from A to Z in the order in the lowercase letters are printed. So here in the third output I have entered 1. That means I have not entered uppercase U and lowercase u. I haven't entered uppercase L and lowercase l. I have entered one value other than those characters. That's why here the error message printed on my output. What is that message? Error, you entered invalid character. This is the program. This is the program to display English alphabets in uppercase and lowercase letters. So these three are the simple programs. But very effective, very logic based programs, and try to understand the logic behind the GCD of two numbers, and next one is the LCM of two numbers, and next one is the how to print English alphabets. So May these logic-based programs help you all while attending for an interview. So try to understand the logic behind program. So then only you may able to answer, then able to develop the software you want. So in this session, I am going to provide some more logic programs. So try to like my channel, and thank you for and all for watching. Thank you all.